There's a Chinese proverb that says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The journey for this morning's guest began with a single story. Who is she? You'll meet her coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the new branch of Tidelands Bank off of Highway 17 bypass south in Murrells Inlet. We're focused on the 13th annual Memorial Golf Tournament to benefit the Coastal Samaritan Counseling Center. And we're visiting with its executive director, the Reverend Kathy Heustess. Good morning.
Good morning.
Kathy, do you mind if I call you Kathy or is it Reverend?
No, Kathy's
Kathy's
fine.
okay?
Yes.
You know, it's amazing. And what about this Tidelands Bank and its new bank branch?
It is gorgeous.
You know, just on Monday, we had Bob Hendrick with us celebrating the 25th annual July 4th Boat Parade, which will be held this Friday.
Right.
And, of course, it takes me back to a year ago where you and Bob were with me and Sherry and Donald and Ray at the new branch of Tidelands Bank in Myrtle Beach up on 44th Avenue. It's amazing.
It's a deja vu all over again.
It really is. And, of course, that highlights that theirs is the 25th and that last year we were promoting the 12th annual Memorial Golf Tournament and now the 13th annual Memorial Golf Tournament. I think you said earlier this morning this is the first recognized in the name of Dr. Holmesby Springs.
Right. One of our golf committee members thought it would be very fitting to honor Dr. Springs and name the tournament this year in his memory. Right. And we checked with the Springs family, and they were delighted to do that in his memory. That
is tremendous. Have the Springs been involved with the Coastal Samaritan Counseling Center?
Yes.
Of course, it's at True Blue, which I believe has a good tie-in, in Caledonia.
Yes. John Springs used to be the chair of our board of directors for many, many years. Right. And as a fundraiser for the center, he offered both Caledonia and True Blue to help us raise funds to serve our indigent clients. Wow. And so we've had our golf tournament there. This makes the 13th year. And we alternate between True Blue and Caledonia each year.
That's wonderful.
And Dr. Springs was a friend of the center as well, and he was very concerned about health care, people having access to health care regardless of their incomes. So I think it's very fitting that we name the tournament in honor of him.
That is wonderful, Kathy. How long has the Coastal Samaritan Counseling Center been around?
We're in our 28th year this year.
Is that right?
That's right.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Wow. How long have you served as its executive director?
I'm in my third year as executive director.
Good. Right. And for viewers who may not be familiar with the center, what exactly is the Coastal Samaritan Counseling Center?
Well, the center was started by the Reverend Tom Britton in 1980 in First United Methodist Church. And we exist to serve the mental health needs of the community, to provide affordable mental health care as well as pastoral care and counseling. Mm-hmm. So we serve all clients regardless of their ability to pay.
Mm-hmm. All clients regardless of their ability to pay.
Right.
Go ahead.
They're assigned a fee based on income. So we use an adjusted fee scale based on income. We don't want anyone to be turned down that can't afford it. So they pay what they can when they come in for services. That's
tremendous. And this is for all ages of persons who may need counseling?
It is. It's for individuals, for children, for adolescents, for couples, families, anyone who needs services.
Really? You mean, and if finances are truly a problem for them, you all will find a way?
We do. But that's why we need to do fundraising.
Yes, clearly. What are some of the other ways that you all go about raising funds? Obviously, the golf tournament, this is an annual event, clearly. Are there other events during the year?
We are supported by nearly 20 area church congregations and faith congregations in the community. Mm-hmm. Some of them put us in their missions budget. Right. We also seek grant sources, and we're a United Way agency as well.
Yes. Oh, that's great. Tomorrow, Woody Ford will be with us, who's one of their active board members who'll be on the show tomorrow. We'll have to check with them to make sure they're staying active with I know they're very supportive of many, many groups. I believe 39. Right. So there's a lot that has to be raised to help support y'all. That is fantastic. Mm-hmm. When we hear the words pastoral counseling, is it as simple as There is a faith-based connection, or is it something more than that?
Being a Samaritan Center, we are faith-friendly, and so we encourage people to use the resources of their particular faith tradition in the counseling relationship. We're not there to force faith on anyone, but if you come to the counseling center with a particular faith orientation, we like to integrate that into the services. So
that's wonderful, yes. And I saw, I think, in y'all's mission statement, a Judeo-Christian faith-based support. So
that's how the center started out,
right.
But really we're even broader than that. There are people that come that have no particular faith orientation,
right.
or even outside of the Judeo-Christian traditions, and we're really there to serve the mental health needs of someone regardless.
That's wonderful. How long have you been a reverend, Kathy?
Since I think 1996 or something
really?
like that.
A little more than a decade.
Yeah.
And do you pastor a particular church in the area, or are you available to pastor?
No, I'm a full-time pastoral counselor, so
okay.
I'm assigned to the counseling center
right.
by the bishop of the United Methodist Church, and that's considered my church, so to speak.
That is tremendous. Well, we had a Methodist minister on with us, golly, about 3 weeks ago, and we were filming at Myrtle Beach Lighting, whose wife is a Methodist minister. And, of course, they used to travel around the state, I believe he said, every few years
right.
or so, maybe
right.
3 years or something interesting. Scott Middleton, who is the
right.
Head of Agape Senior,
right.
or founded Agape Senior up in Columbia, and they've expanded down to this area. And he said his wife had recently been called back into the ministry because of some shortages in certain areas, which
right.
is fascinating.
And well, my husband is a Methodist minister as well.
Is that now?
So,
do you all have to travel around?
Well, we have.
Yeah.
I've been married over 20 years, and we have traveled all over the state of South Carolina and going where he's been assigned.
Right.
But this time he came for me down to the coast.
Yeah.
So he's trying to orient his calling around my position right now.
Within a couple of county area, or within
right.
at least, that's tremendous.
Right.
That is great. If a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family out of the house, is there a good phone number for someone to call to
yes.
learn about, or do you all have a website?
We do. Our phone number is 448
right.
4820.
Right.
And our website is www.coastalsamaritan.org.
Okay. Tremendous. 448-4820 or coastalsamaritan.org.
Right.
That's wonderful. How are the counselors trained, Kathy? And maybe just share with viewers a little bit about the counselors.
Well, we are accredited by the Samaritan Institute, and one of the accreditation standards of that is that all of our counselors have master's degree in respective disciplines, whether that is in counseling or marriage and family therapy or social work or pastoral counseling.
Right.
And all of them are licensed by the state of South Carolina in their respective disciplines. And some of them actually have specialized training to be able to integrate the theological piece or the faith piece in with the counseling piece.
That's wonderful. I believe back in November we were filming up at Collector's Cafe, and Dr. Remington, Jim Remington, was with us, who
yes.
was a fascinating guest. It seems like there was a focus there maybe on death. Does he have some involvement, or is involvement of supporting folks through maybe murder or some terrible
right.
affliction that has impacted a family?
The trauma of being a victim of crime, like murder or other serious crimes.
Right.
He had a support group for a while for folks that have experienced that.
Right. Of course, everything is confidential.
Absolutely.
Anyone who would be coming to Coastal Samaritan Counseling Center, everything is confidential.
We're a healthcare organization like other healthcare organizations, and we have to abide by the HIPAA laws, and so all that information is strictly confidential, and it will not be released unless you give permission to.
That's wonderful. How long does counseling normally take? Does it depend on person to person, or as you go through some of the questions, you've got some very good-looking brochures, and of course it highlights counseling with a difference, which is wonderful, and I bet that's a great, but one of the questions in there was, how long does it take?
That really varies a lot. Some people may come 1, 2, or 3 times, and that's all they need. The typical one is probably 8 to 12 sessions, but then we've got people that have actually been coming for about 2 years. So it just depends on the issue that you're dealing with and some of the life events that happen over time, and it just varies a lot from person to person.
And you all were chartered by, you said, the Samaritan Institute, or is that the correct way to say chartered or help?
We're affiliated.
Affiliated, right, yes. When you think about that affiliation, is there a prerequisite that any doctors or medical doctors on staff, any psychiatrists
Yes. The Samaritan Institute was started in the 1970s by a seminary professor and a physician and 2 pastors.
Okay.
And it was an attempt on their part to get the faith community and the healthcare community involved with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that has grown to a network of over 95 centers around the country and even in Japan. And there are accreditation standards, one of which is that we involve the medical community in the mental health care. And so we regularly consult with and correspond with medical doctors and psychiatrists in the care of persons. It's a holistic approach.
That's tremendous. So there is, for folks who may need a little more than therapy, potentially some medical care.
Right.
There is the ability to interface with somebody even if they're not right there in the building with you all.
Right. The Samaritan ministry is about holistic ministry.
That's wonderful.
Caring for the whole person and their needs.
For a viewer who may want to pop by or have a chance to get in there, do you encourage people to come by? Do you all have a physical location that they would want to visit, or is it better to just call?
It's better to call for an appointment.
Okay.
But we do have, our central office is located inside First United Methodist Church.
Okay.
And we have several satellite offices as well.
I saw that on the back, 5 convenient locations.
I think we have 6 now.
Oh,
actually.
wow. Forgive me. I'm looking at an old brochure, I guess.
We're expanding. I'll name those.
Yeah.
Trinity United Methodist Church in Conway.
Okay, great.
Little River United Methodist Church in Little River.
There we go.
Ocean Drive Presbyterian Church in North Myrtle Beach.
That must be new. Yes,
Fairly.
that wasn't on here, right.
St. Paul's Waccamaw United Methodist Church in Litchfield, Wallis Island.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the newest location is Celebration Presbyterian Church in Carolina Forest.
Okay, well, these have changed a little bit. There have
They
been
have.
another one there, but now Celebration Presbyterian, which is a great congregation. My daughter and I went there for one of their big celebration days, a big kids' day, which was wonderful over there. But you said the main office is at First United Methodist Church. For viewers who may not have been there before, that's across from the former pavilion or the pavilion parking garage. Yeah.
Right.
Easy location to...
right in the heart of Myrtle Beach.
Right in the heart of downtown Myrtle Beach. That is wonderful, Candy. What first got you interested in pastoral counseling? Is this something from a long way back? Had you planned on being a minister prior to actually even thinking about pastoral counseling? Or did one precede the other?
I didn't plan on being a minister at all.
Oh, come on. Tell us the truth.
No, that was not my plan. That was God's plan, I guess.
Yes, yes.
But I was a social work major, and I'd always had, it really goes back to childhood. When I was in Sunday school, there was a story about the Good Samaritan. And that story really touched me, the man on the side of the road and helping him. And so I became a social work major. And then I decided that God was calling me, so I went to seminary. And then it just seemed the right integration to care for people and to fully care for people. You've also got to care for their spiritual needs as well. So it just kind of evolved into a real integration of caring for the whole person.